When it comes to mid-size family hatchbacks, few cars have such a household name as the Volkswagen Golf. It's been a byword for practicality, affordability and dependability, and it's always been that extra member of the family that's done everything that's been asked of it. In fact, it's proved so popular that around 37 million versions have been sold since it first went on sale, and that equates to around 2,000 every single day. It's now in its 8th generation, and while competition from the likes of the Ford Focus, Vauxhall Astra and even more premium rivals like the Mercedes A-Class and BMW 1 Series, it's still proving just as popular now as it did when it was first unveiled. So if you're in the market for one, this video should help you decide which version you should be considering and what you should be looking out for when you're shopping around. So without further ado, let's get started. Over the last 50 years, the Golf has varied quite a bit in terms of size, technology and equipment. This latest 8th generation car is the biggest and most technologically focused so far. It was launched in 2020 and it brought the Golf into the modern age with a classier look and a lot of new tech. When it comes to exterior design, the Golf is, well, unmistakably a Golf. From the front, it's been given a much more modern look. You get these thin front headlights and a much narrower grille than we've seen on previous generations. In fact, it's a much more fresher face than we've seen before on a Golf. Inside, the cabin is noticeably more clutter-free than we've seen before on Golfs. The steering wheel is fully adjustable, as too is the seat. And the seats are very comfortable as well. So if you find yourself doing a lot of motorway miles, you won't end up with any back problems. Likewise, if you find yourself driving in a bit more of a spirited fashion down country lanes, they're also quite supportive too, so you won't get thrown around. Either way, you're going to end the journey feeling very comfortable and relaxed. Now, much of the usability that was a big question mark when it was first launched was rectified in a mid-life facelift. So what I would recommend is when you are going to check one out, have a go at the system, find out what it's like to switch between climate control and the radio and the navigation, because it is a bit trickier trying to do it whilst you're on the move. Check it out, see how you get on with it and make sure it's right for you. Volkswagen's neat 10.25 digital instrument cluster is a great addition, however, and it's customizable depending on your mood or style of driving. It also allows you to toggle between car information, navigation or audio settings. Visibility is excellent thanks to a large front windscreen, good size side windows and relatively slim A-pillars, which helps when pulling out at roundabouts. Parking is also made a lot easier thanks to front and rear sensors and a rear view parking camera. So how about the build quality of the Golf in the cabin? Well, as you'd expect for a Golf, it's all pretty solidly put together in here. As we mentioned, it is pretty minimalist, but there are some nice soft touch materials that really help lift the overall feel of the cabin. In fact, it actually ranks it better than some rivals from the likes of Ford or Skoda. Now onto the business of space, and there's plenty of room for the driver and front seat passenger, and anyone sat in the rear seats won't be complaining either, unless they're over 6 foot, where the space is a little more limited. There's also a large transmission tunnel which runs down the middle of the car, which means anyone who sat in the middle seat for long journeys might find it a little bit uncomfortable. The boot offers a reasonable 381 litres of space, and this can be extended further by folding down those split fold rear seats. It's worth bearing in mind though that if you do opt for the e-hybrid version, that some of that space is lost because of battery placement. There's no question that the Volkswagen Golf is a practical car. You've got good deep door pockets which will take a large bottle of water. At the bottom of the center console there's a placeholder for your mobile phone with a couple of USB-C chargers, and next to the armrest, which is quite deep and a decent size, there's space for some loose change and one cup holder. There's one thing that's definitely worth checking out, it's the steering wheel. There are a lot of buttons on here to get your head around. It's a variety of things from your radio volume settings to your cruise control, car safety settings, even heated steering wheel. It's worth having a bit of a play with it when you're viewing the car, just to make sure you can get to grips with it. Another thing that's worth having a look at is the shortcut buttons that are underneath the infotainment screen. These control the climate control and the volume settings. Now, they aren't on haptic feedback, so you don't get any feel of whether you're pressing the button and getting any response. The other thing that's slightly frustrating is that they're not illuminated at night, so you can't see what the controls actually do. But this is something that's rectified in the Mark II version. For many drivers though, the most important question comes around powertrains. After all, there are a vast array of engines to choose from. The range kicks off with a 1.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol with 114 brake horsepower, and this should average an impressive 52.3 miles per gallon. The same engine is available in a hybrid version as well, and this increases power to 148 brake horsepower. If you do want the extra oomph though, and are prepared to pay the extra that comes with owning a hybrid, then this is well worth considering, as it does offer that good blend of power and economy. Now, as well as the mild hybrid version, there's also a plug-in hybrid, which brings over 80 miles of electric range, and this is available with either 201 brake horsepower or 268 brake horsepower, the latter getting the GTE badging. While the demise of diesels seems to be continuing in the new car market, there is a 2-litre TDI available with either 113 brake horsepower or 148 brake horsepower. Now, if you do a lot of motorway miles, then this should be a serious consideration, as it'll comfortably return over 60 miles per gallon. Then the all-wheel drive and range-topping Golf R version comes with 329 brake horsepower. That's capable of 60 miles an hour from a standing start in a more than impressive 4.6 seconds. Now that will give many high-performance cars a real run for their money. As for trims, the entry-level offering, badged Life, comes with 16-inch alloy wheels, LED headlights, parking sensors and keyless start. Plus, you get the 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system and 10.25-inch instrument display. This gets upgraded on facelifted models to a 12.9-inch touchscreen as standard. Next up on the list is the Active trim, which adds heated front seats and steering wheel, climate control and rear privacy glass. Style grade then adds larger alloys, adaptive LED headlamps, upgraded seats and wood style features. Then right at the top of the list is the R-Line, which adds more sporty elements. So you've decided which model you want to go for and the spec, but what should you be checking while you're shopping around? Well, according to our data, there are 3 key things that you need to be keeping an eye out for. The first one being the automatic gearbox. This can be a hugely expensive job if it needs replacing. It can cost up to £4,333. So when you are taking it out for a test drive, make sure the gear changes are smooth, make sure that there's no strange noises come in, but also check the service history to see if this is something that's had consistent problems. The other thing that's worth checking out with the automatic gearbox is the paddles. So just go through them one by one, make sure the changes are smooth and quick, and there doesn't seem to be any problems. Other common issues include a faulty fuel flap solenoid. Try saying that 20 times. That'll cost around £370 to replace, while a water pump will also cost, still expensive, £1,217. So to sum up, the Volkswagen Golf Mk8 is a great, practical and user-friendly family hatchback. From petrol heads right through to more eco-minded motorists, there's a version out there for everybody. But we'd recommend the 1.5 litre petrol TSI as a good starting point, as it offers a good blend of performance and economy. Thanks for watching this used review of the Mk8 Volkswagen Golf. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us a thumbs up. And while you're here, please remember to subscribe to our channel for more used reviews just like this one.